So today's presentation is really about two things. Number one, it's about how to get in front of your market using property funnels. And inside property funnels, we've got two specific products that I want to highlight today. And the first one is our Facebook and our Google Ads launcher. So being visible on the platforms and in the channels that your customers are already using. That's the first point. And the second point that I'm going to cover today is speed to lead. And basically, you can't have one really without the other. If you generate 10 leads, you've got to be able to get back to those 10 leads within at least 5 minutes. And I know it's not always practically possible because there are no office hours online, but I'm going to show you how we do that using property funnels to give you the best chance and the best return on your advertising investment or on your marketing investment. Today's session really is going to be a lot of text on the screen first, and then I'm going to hop into the tools and I'm going to show you how it works. I just think it's always important to give some context and some clarity to what we're doing. So really, the title of this presentation is How Real Estate Agents Use Property Funnels to Generate Leads, and we should say consistently, and follow up immediately. Okay, so what we do know and what we've seen over the past almost 4 years now, while Property Funnels has been in existence, is every single day, agents tell me they put a lot of energy into cold calling, flyer drops, road shows, any other physical activity that's taking up their time. And they're looking for methods to supplement what they're doing in terms of their time, cold calling, flyer drops, etc., but also having something that can help them fill in those gaps where they can't always be doing these activities. These activities are important because they are almost your now business. Your cold calling is generally your now business. Your online marketing and advertising is very much potentially now, but most times later business. So it's important to understand the difference between the platforms and the technology used to generate both kinds of business, because sometimes we need business now, or all times we need business now. And a phone call is a good opportunity to get a yes or a no, or a further discussion. And online marketing is very good to fill your pipeline with potential future sellers or potentially future buyers, depending on what it is that you're looking to achieve. And no one over here is a bad agent. So there's no such thing as a bad agent that is practicing. There are generally more experienced agents, and then there are less experienced agents. And that experience is built up over time, as we know. And by putting in the reps in the market, being consistent and doing what you do every single day, having that discipline to follow through with your goals. And you know you're not a bad agent if you're getting referrals. And I'm sure most of you, whether it's family or friends or people that you've assisted in the past, will generally, from time to time, bring referrals to you. So that tells you that you're actually a very good agent if you're starting to get referrals from people. But referrals are hugely valuable. And the difference between a referral and a cold lead really is that a referral is generally a warm lead, and they are people that have been referred by someone they trust. And that gives you an opportunity to follow up with them and generally do business pretty quickly because the person's ready and they're warmer. A cold lead online doesn't know you from a bar of soap, and it requires a little bit more work and a little bit more nurture. So when you get a warm referral, generally it's an easier close. Versus when you get a cold lead, it takes a bit of work. It takes a little bit of getting comfortable with you and expressing what your value proposition to that person may be. So they're great to receive referrals, but they're not consistent and they're also not predictable. So if you're going to make a success in business, what you need are two things. You need consistency in terms of your output, what it is that you're doing, your feedback in terms of what you're receiving, i.e. leads. And you also need a degree of predictability, because that means that you're always going to have a pipeline of people, whether it's this month or next month or the months thereafter, to do business with. So tell me if this has ever happened. You have months, you get 0 referrals, you're doing your work, you're doing your cold calls, you're dropping flyers, you're standing by the robots, handing out sweets and pamphlets, whatever the activity is, and you're struggling to get new business. And then suddenly 1 month, you don't just get one, but you get multiple referrals. I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody. Let me know in the comments if this sort of scenario has ever happened to you. Months of a dry spell in terms of referrals, but then suddenly 1 month, you're getting multiple referrals from either past clients, friends, or family. So just let me know in the comments, has a scenario like this ever happened to you? Yeah. I'm just going to go into the comments to check out here, and I can see that it has happened to some people. So Inez says yes, Lilani says yes. And I mean, that's a great feeling. And Michael says yes, Lizette says yes. So it tells you that you're a really good agent because something is happening in these people's lives and they're starting to refer you to their friends and family and colleagues or past people that you've dealt with, trust you enough, think you're credible enough, and refer you to their friends and their colleagues. So it's a fantastic feeling. And I have this in my own business. You have this in your own business. And this just happens without you knowing it's going to happen. Therefore, it's a non-predictable or an unpredictable occurrence, but it's obviously very, very welcomed. And this is what I said now. You're being handed clients on a platter. So these referrals are basically your warm referral leads. And because you're getting all of these leads, you get too busy to continue prospecting. You shouldn't be, but sometimes it happens that you get so caught up in the actual fulfillment of the role that you stop doing the activities that you should be doing each day, whether that's your cold calling, whether that's flyer drops, roadshows, or doing anything else that brings people to know who you are and that you're an active agent in their area. And then one day, after doing all of this work, you find that your pipeline is totally empty. And so you now need to start all over again. So you need to start calling again. You need to start prospecting again. And this is a cycle that can continue unless, of course, you have something to back you up. So tell me, has this ever happened to you? You wake up one day after being extremely busy, but then your pipeline is practically empty and you need to start from square one again. So just let me know, is that something that's ever happened to any of you before, that you've been so busy? So there's a yes, there's a correct. So Ines, Ricardo, thank you. And I think that it's only human nature because we focus generally on what's right in front of us. And if all our energy is dedicated to servicing or closing on what it is that's in front of us, that's our business in our pipeline right now that we have a sure potential income on, we forget or we get too busy, we run out of time, we don't always have an assistant to help us to actually start to make sure that our pipeline is always being filled at the top. So thank you, Nina. Thanks, everybody that left your comment over there. So I can see that this is something that is, it happens over and over, and it doesn't matter what business you're in. It's basically just human nature and the way we operate. So what we do know is it's difficult to physically prospect and service clients at the same time. Because again, like I said, you're one person. There is no other person to replace you, and you still deserve a life, and you still deserve family time. Your children still deserve your time. So you can't be 24/7, 365 on call, on demand, doing prospecting, doing the things that you need to do to continually fill your pipeline. So wouldn't it be nice that you could have a predictable and consistent lead flow week after week? I mean, let me know in the comments, would that be something that you guys would like? Is this something that would be of value to you, interest to you? I can imagine the answers would technically be generally yes, a resounding yes, because what we all want is consistent, predictable leads, week after week, month after month. So I can see that's exactly what it is that we all desire. And one thing, and this is the kind of thing that continues to work for you while you're dealing with your other current clients. So as you're getting those referral months where you're getting those like rainmaker feeling of just deal after deal after deal coming onto your lap on silver platters, you're having time with your family, you're servicing your clients, and it's basically just a wheel that keeps turning and you keep getting leads day in, day out without fail. And again, what we know is if we start with online prospecting, a lot of those leads will technically be not now business. They are definitely going to be future business. But stick with me and I'll show you how we're going to convert these people into potential business right now. So I thought it's valuable just to show you, give you a snapshot of some of the res agents that have spoken to me in the past and have used property funnels, just to give you a picture of what their results have been like. I don't know if any of these guys are on the call today, but Ashley DeLong, I'm sure you all know him. He is one of Res's top agents. He's a young man. He's had a lot of success very quickly. And one thing that he tells me is that he hasn't made a single cold call since using property funnels. And this is over 3 years ago, basically. And what we do for him and what we continue to do for range of agents, including res agents, is we help them with that pipeline filling activity to make sure that he's got leads today, tomorrow, next week. And he then basically services those leads until such time as he needs more. And then he switches on his advertising again. And what happens is, again, another predictable lead flow of leads coming into his pipeline that he has the opportunity to work through and potentially close on. Another agent, Hein de Vet, he joined Property Funnels about a month and a half ago. He's a new res agent too, based in the Wilfers area in Pretoria East. And this is an email that he sent me. He says, absolutely love your system, my friend. Facebook lead ads are ticking over like an expensive Swiss watch. I love that. I'm now getting inquiries in my selected area. And then Babs also just said she received 10 leads in a campaign that we ran with her last year. So she calls this a game changer. And again, not one of these agents are advertising gurus. You can ask them. They're not, they don't spend all their time trying to understand platforms, trying to understand advertising and marketing. But they also didn't have to lift the pen. They didn't have to do any Canva designs. They didn't have to really do anything to get these leads. All they really had to do was type in the area they wanted to target, set a daily budget, and hit publish. That was about all the work that they had to do. So yeah, it really can be that easy. And you don't need to know anything about Facebook ads, Google ads, ads on Instagram to get leads from these platforms. And this is why people choose Property Funnels, because we've got the tools and we've got the resources to really help you get to the point where you're not having to learn the platforms and become a marketing expert and an advertising guru in order to enjoy the benefits of what Facebook, what Google ads can bring to your business. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. So why should you listen to me? Why should you trust me? And just what is my story? So I don't know if you can see on the screen very clearly. It's not a great photo, but that is a photo of me back in 2020. This was during COVID, essentially, or in the after effects of COVID, hard lockdown. And that's my little girl. That's my youngest, Nina. She was probably about 2 to 3 months old there, I think. And what happened is I was retrenched from a marketing role in a company called Dracor. You may have remembered one of their products was called Mice, my customer engagement. I think it was shortened from Mice. And during the time of COVID, a lot of Dracor's clients were actually real estate professionals. And what happened is because COVID hit, nobody could move. A lot of clients actually pulled their subscriptions and the company went through a massive wobble. And they had to actually forego on or undergo retrenchments of their staff. And as we all know, marketing, anybody sort of not in direct sales and administration generally get the chopping block first. And I was among those people that got the chopping block. So I had 2 other children. This was my youngest. It was COVID. No one was hiring. So basically, I had to create a solution out of nothing. And I had a very, very small list of real estate professionals that I had email addresses of. I was a member of on some Facebook groups, real estate related. And I have a passion for real estate. I have a passion for marketing and copywriting. And I combined those two with a bit of a tech solution, which is now what Property Funnels has actually become. And during that time, I basically just put in the work of my life to try and get through this. Young children, no real income coming into the household. You need to actually have your back against the wall sometimes to actually do something. And that's exactly what happened here. I started engaging in Facebook groups. I started emailing my list. In fact, every single day I sent an email. And slowly but surely, I got a client, and I got 2 clients, and I got 3 clients, just on the blood, sweat, and tears of trying to get this thing to work. And today we have more than 100 clients using the system, a couple of thousand agents within those accounts. And each person and each agent, depending on what they're using it for, uses it in a slightly different way. But ultimately and fundamentally, what they all want and what we all need really is a consistent and a predictable lead flow into our business, my own business included. So it doesn't stop there. So as you know, new leads don't keep office hours. So You will see this if you go to Property 24 stats or you get a lead off the portals. What is it that happens generally? Leads come in at 12 a.m. in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It really depends on when people are online and what it is that they're doing. So Facebook, Google, the portals, your website, there is no such thing as office hours online. So what you're able to do with property funnels is when you get a lead, you're able to either call or WhatsApp them almost immediately, email them almost immediately. Obviously, we can't call people directly at 2 o'clock in the morning, but what it gives you is the opportunity to still do that activity. And I'm going to show you how. So speed to lead is critical online. In the physical environment, sometimes you don't have to be so quick off the mark, but online, because people have put in their details on a form, whether it's your website, a Facebook ad, even off the portals, their knee-jerk reaction once they fill in those forms is to actually check their phone if they gave you their phone number. It's to check their inbox to see if they gave you their email address. And if they don't receive a response from you basically immediately, by the time you get back to that person, you've almost basically lost that lead. So whatever effort you put in can almost come to naught if you're not coming back to a person within 5 minutes. And I'm going to show you a little screenshot now that demonstrates the importance of getting back to people as quickly as possible, because people are so 2-minute noodle microwave generation these days online. So you need a way to actually be in touch with people as soon as possible, because that is the time when they're the most hot, when they're the most excited, and when they're the most open to receiving a call from you and answering any questions or engaging with you in a conversation. So I'll show you that study now. And it basically states that the first 5 minutes after a new lead is generated can actually be the difference between them answering their phone or just ignoring you. And leads morph into paying customers 20 times more frequently when reached within 5 minutes compared to 30 minutes. So 20 times more frequent when you're in their face, on the call with them within 5 minutes compared to if you had to wait 30 minutes. And if you wait 90 minutes, the chances are practically zero. So they drop right down. An hour and a half doesn't seem like a lot, but online, because we're inundated with so much media, so much information, if the prospect is not followed up within those 5 minutes, or you take an hour and a half to get back to them, the chances that you'll reach them and get them on the phone or get them to agree to an appointment with you is almost zero in most cases. So this is the little graphic that I wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see the screen as clearly as I can, but basically it's just showing you a little graph here of calling within 5 minutes is 20 times more effective than calling after 30 minutes. And you can see this little graph, how it drops down. So this dark blue pie graph here is within 5 minutes. So it's basically 100%. It's almost right at the top of 100% range. But this, as soon as you hit down to 10 minutes, it's basically a third of the time. So as you go down and your time goes on and on and on, 90 minutes, you can see it's tiny. The chances of reaching that person and being able to convert them into a potential client is almost zero after an hour and a half. So if you're spending any money, so this comes down to any advertising. If you're spending any of your money on advertising, what you can't afford to do is to actually wait. And you can't afford to not know that you've got a lead, and you cannot afford to not phone that lead. As we all know, in real estate, probably the closest you're going to get to a cold lead and closest you're going to get to them actually agreeing to an appointment with you is generally on that first call. If you can get a lead on the phone, your chances of actually getting them to an appointment are that much higher. If you can't get them on the phone, it can be a struggle to ever get anywhere with that person. So consistently following up, and obviously following up practically immediately, is key in this game. You cannot afford to spend your money and lose those leads because you were not able to get back to them as quickly as possible. And as I said earlier, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning is probably not the time that you're going to phone the person, but you can have automated systems in place that actually do the work for you so that you can follow up as a human at a reasonable time. So this is why our speed to lead recipe is so powerful. So when combined with Facebook, Google Ads, or any other form of advertising, even if it's organic advertising, your speed to lead is critical so that you don't waste the leads that you get. It gives you the best opportunity to get on the call with them and convert that person into a potential client. So what our speed to lead recipe really does inside property funnels, it engages your new leads right after they give you their details. And it's day and night. So remember this. Just think about this. The person sitting on Facebook, I'm going to use Facebook as an example here throughout. They're sitting on Facebook, they see your ad, they fill in their details, and while they're still on Facebook, they get a WhatsApp from you. They get an email from you. I mean, the chances of them then picking up the phone once you give them a call are that much higher just because they connected the dots in terms of the ad that they just filled in. There's their response acknowledging it and asking them, for example, specific questions, which you can customize, by the way. But these would be valuable questions. When do you want to sell? Any extra questions that you'd like to ask, you can still customize these flows. And then when they do finally get a call from you, they're more likely to pick up the phone because there's a memory recall. They know you're calling about what it is that they filled in. I'm sure you've had instances before where somebody has become a lead, but they've never, they might just tell you, look, I never filled in the form, or I don't know who you are. And generally it's because you waited too long to get back to that person, even though your best intentions are always to get back to people as soon as possible. But again, because we're human beings and because we have a lot of other things going on, we can't always physically get back to people as quickly as we'd like to, even through our best efforts. So when combined, these tools do two very powerful things. They help you generate new leads, and they immediately engage with your cold lead, which warms them up and it buys you time to get back to them. So let me quickly just show you how easy this is. Would you guys all like to see how this is done, how easy it is to set up the advertising, and how easy it is that advertising follows up with people? And I'll take you inside property funnels just to give you a taste of how easy this is. Would you guys like that? So everybody's saying absolutely, yes, fantastic. Okay, great. Definitely. Okay, great. Okay, thanks. I think that's enough encouragement. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hop into a demo account, and I'm just going to open up one of these ads. So what you can see in front of you, this is the back end. This is the workhorse of your property funnels CRM. Right at the bottom of your CRM here is your launch your ads module. So this basically gives you the opportunity to launch Facebook ads with 3 clicks within less than a minute. And as I said, you don't need to know anything about Facebook ads in order to use this product and in order to get leads from Facebook advertising. So you can see this is just our seller templates, and we've got buyer templates, we've got new development templates. So if you have a developer and you're trying to help them sell their development, we've got templates for that. We've got templates for auctions, branding templates. But 99% of people that I speak to on a daily basis always ask me about, they need seller leads. So I know that is the bread and butter of real estate. If you have the leads and you have the mandates, generally the buyers will come. So if you're looking for sellers, we've already got the easy solution for you here. So you can see we've got a number of templates that have already been set up. So they've been designed. The copy's been written, the lead forms have been created, and all the flows on the back end have already been done for you. So there's nothing really more that you need to do. So let me just show you what one of these ads looks like and just show you how easy this is to launch. So you're just going to pick a template, and basically here, this is just filling in a few details in terms of what kind of campaign do you want to run. A lead form campaign? Do you want to send them to a landing page? Do you want to do messenger leads? Our suggestion, go with the lead form because it's a Facebook product. Facebook likes its own products. Your cost per lead is generally lower, and we're still going to be able to get them either to a website or a landing page that gets created for you when you sign up to Property Funnels. Put in a daily budget. So let's just say 100 Rand. You put in a website URL. So this is the redirect. I'm just going to grab this URL of this page. You would get a page that is similar to this, but obviously with your own branding, your own name. This is a form, and your own testimonials, your own bio, as well as some market information. So you get a landing page similar to this when you sign up to Property Funnels. And we plug that landing page URL over here. And then it's as simple as choosing where do we want this ad to run. So put in your location. So for example, if you want to focus on, let's just see, where should we see if we can run an ad? Anybody let me know? Give me a quick area. George. Okay, so let's do George or Crystal Park, Ramsuf. Okay, let's do Ramsuf because it's a smaller area. You can run entire cities. You can run suburbs. So let's just say Ramsuf. Let's see if Ramsuf comes up here. So there we've got Ramsuf, Gauteng as a neighborhood, and then obviously all the extensions. I'm just going to choose Ramsuf over here. You can add more areas. So you can add up to, I think it is 20 areas, even though that can be a little bit much, but you can run ads in different places. So you can have one in Ramsuf, you can have one in Krugersdorp, you can have one in Florida, you can have one in Honeydew, and it's basically one campaign, and your 100 Rand budget is going to be shared across all these areas. So again, it opens up your audience. You add media. We give you the templates of media already. So you don't have to design any media. But again, if you are that way inclined and you want to have your own branding and you want to have your own ads, you're more than welcome just to upload your own media. You can upload either images or videos or both. The ad text, as I said, is already done. It's already written for you. So you can see the ad text is done. So you don't have to do anything here. But if you'd like to change something, you want to add something, you're more than able to just edit your ads if you wanted to. And then don't worry about the privacy policy. You can put the Res website's privacy policy in here. We do give you our privacy policy just to streamline the process. And you don't have to worry about a pixel. You don't even have to know what a pixel is. That's just a tracking mechanism from Facebook. But because we're using lead form ads, we don't have to worry about the pixel. And then once you're ready and you've chosen your area, you've put in your daily budget, and you've picked, for example, some images. So let's just put some images in here. You're going to click Launch Campaign. And when you do that, one thing that's happening on Facebook now is it's going to start creating the campaign for you. And if you pick, for example, here, 3 images, it's going to give you 3 ads on the same budget. So this is a good thing, because what you want to do is, we don't know until an ad actually starts running whether or not this image is going to be the one image that most of your market's going to start responding to. So what we do is we can choose up to 10 images for a single campaign. And after about a week, we can see this is the image that's winning, and this one's coming second. This one's doing horribly, probably because we're saying Ramsuf and there we've got Greenpoint. But we obviously wouldn't choose that image if we're going to Ramsuf. But it gives you a picture of what kind of creative is the creative that works for your market. And without running a campaign, it's very difficult to anticipate and predict which one will work. But one of these templates will definitely work for your market. We haven't had a case where an agent has launched ads and never received leads. So you do get leads from this kind of campaign. So once you've launched your campaign, I'm going to show you the workflow that basically is set up that when a lead comes in, what happens next. So this is your speed to lead. So this one over here is just a speed to lead workflow, just to show you what the back end would look like. So this is the speed to lead. So when a Facebook form is filled in, for example, the ad that we just launched, once a lead comes in, what happens? The first thing is we put them into a pipeline. So we organize your leads. We help you know these are all your new leads in the specific pipeline. So evaluation pipeline, for example, with steps. And I'm going to show you that pipeline after this in a second, with the steps of when a new lead comes in, I want to know how many new leads have been generated. I want to know how many leads are actually replying to me. I want to know how many leads have booked an appointment with me. I want to know how many leads are in a long-term nurture sequence. I want to know how many leads have signed a mandate. So it's going to help you organize those people so that you don't just have this like big spreadsheet of people and you don't know what stage they're in. Because especially when you start to scale, you're going to want to know how many people are in each stage of your funnel. So once they sign up or give you their details, we put them into a pipeline, we send them an email, we send them a WhatsApp, we can also send them an SMS. So all within that same second. You can remove an SMS, you can remove an email, you can remove the WhatsApp, you can have one piece of communication. I just want to show you that you can cover all your bases. You can get them on email, you can get them on WhatsApp, you can get them on SMS if you want to. Then what we're doing is we're basically asking them a question. You know, when would be a convenient time for me to give you a call? Is a very good question because it puts the ball in their court. And we wait for a 2-minute gap of did they reply or did they not reply? And if they did reply to either the SMS or the WhatsApp or the email, was it a positive reply? So did they give you sort of a yes, this would be a good time, or yes, you can call me back? Or was it a negative reply? I'm not interested in talking to you, for example. If it was a yes reply, they are wanting you to call them back, we can send them a booking link automatically. So a booking link that is already connected to your Outlook calendar, your Google Calendar, your Apple iCal calendar, which is integrated directly in what you would normally be using anyway. An easy way for them to book in a calendar at a time that already suits you, because it can read calendar availability, what you're basically using on a daily basis, and then a time that would work for them. So once they book an appointment with you, we just set also a follow-up task just to give them a call, just to confirm anything that you might need. And again, this is all done within that first 5 minutes. Remember that speed to lead. So when they come in, everything is already built. Everything works like clockwork without you needing to do any extra work in terms of getting them on a call, trying to get an appointment with them. This is all taken care of automatically every single time a new lead comes in. If they don't reply to, for example, your SMS or your WhatsApp, we've got a call connect feature. So basically, it's a call connect feature, phones your phone, and it says, David has opted in. Would you like to connect a call with him? You click any button, and it connects you and that person automatically. If you would like to do that, you don't have to connect with each person, but sometimes it saves you that extra time of having to get the number, dial it, and then phone out. And again, this is all done within, you can see, if that person doesn't reply in 2 minutes, the call connect feature kicks in. And then what we do is we wait 1 day, depending on did they answer the call or not answer the call, and then we put them into a long-term nurture. So if you couldn't reach them in those first 5 minutes, they're automatically added to a long-term nurture, which goes on for the next 9 months. And that's already been built for you. So there's already content that's been designed and created for you so that every lead comes in, doesn't necessarily just fall by the wayside, never gets replied to. Because what happens is if we get 10 leads today, it's very hard for you to follow up with 10 leads consistently over the next 9 months, but a system can do that for you. And what we find is the people that you were not able to reach at the time when they signed up, because they're being nurtured long-term, they come out of the woodwork eventually because something changes in their lives. And then they remember that agent that helped them with one specific thing, for example, a CMA or a desktop valuation, whatever you want to call it. And they would see like, okay, fine, now I'm ready to actually take the next step. And generally then they reach out back to you because you've been the one that's been staying in touch with them. And this is what's happening consistently. Every single day, as your ads are running, as you're putting content out there, as you're generating leads, filling the top of your funnel, you're giving yourself that future business that you need in order to be sustainable and in order for your longevity of your business to always have a predictable lead flow and a predictable client flow, because your systems and your automations are working for you when you are currently busy with existing deals or you're on holiday. If any of you ever take a holiday. But again, you don't want to be the slave to having to do everything manually. You want your system to back you up. You want your system to help you get to the point where the leads are coming into your pipeline. They're being nurtured long enough if they're not converting right away. And through time, they start to come out the woodwork consistently, month after month, year after year. And then you actually have a position or a situation where you never, ever have those months where your pipeline is totally empty and you have to start from scratch all over again. So I'm just going to quickly show you what a typical pipeline would look like. So if I just go into the opportunity pipeline here and go into the valuation of a pipeline, what you'll see is every lead that opts in for your valuation campaign, for your sellers campaign, will fall into this little bucket here, your new leads column. Once you open up this contact record, we've got an easy way for you to send a CMA. And once you fill in that form on the contact record, the card automatically jumps. You can see you can manually move these cards if you'd like to, but because of the automation, it automatically jumps here and sends them the CMA, sends them your explanation of what's happening with their property. If they reply to you, they become hot leads. So just in a nutshell, your pipeline would look something like this. These cards can move automatically based on when they want to potentially sell. You can see there's the 3 to 6 and 6 to 9 months long-term nurtures. When they book an appointment with you, they get a booking request stage. Once the booking has been confirmed, they come here. They are reminded of that appointment. If they show up to the appointment, and then mandate signed and a won deal with a value associated to that lead. So I know we've got very little time, and I don't want to go too far and miss the opportunity to answer any of your questions. I'm going to put the link if you guys are interested in joining Property Funnels and you'd like to join today. If you do join today, we will help you set up that Facebook ad right from the start. So as you join, what we'll do is we'll actually hop onto a call. We'll help you with that process just to get you all signed up. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to share a quick, easy link. As you can see, I just designed a very simple landing page. If you are keen, go to this link and you can buy Property Funnels today. It is a month-to-month subscription, so you can cancel at any time. And we do have different packages. Abel, I'll go over some of the packages quickly once we go through some of the questions. But I'm just going to put this into the chat box here so that if anybody wants to grab that link, they can. But yeah, let me then take some questions. I hope that was insightful and informative for everybody. I apologize if we ran out of a bit of time here. But when you're excited about something, I think it's normal to get a little bit, overzealous when you're trying to share information.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got about 10 minutes for questions, so we're fine. Any questions, please? Or forever hold your peace.
There are some questions in the chat, Abel. So you did answer the questions.
Well, the majority was just put your link in there, your details in there.
Okay.
Some people said emails.
Where can we see how much a budget will be enough for one campaign? So we always suggest start with R100 budget per day. You can always pause your campaign. You can adjust your budget. Facebook requires a minimum of 20 Rand or basically $1 a day. So you can't go lower than that. But if your budget is not really big for your advertising yet, start with R100, even if you only have 500 Rand to spend, because it gives you the best chance to reach more people quickly and start getting leads into your pipeline, at least in that first 1 to 2 days. So R100 is generally a sufficient budget, just to answer Lalani's question there.
Ricardo asked a question. Do we need our Facebook accounts or do you set it up from you?
So you do need a Facebook business page, and we can help you set up the ads account. Remember, the ad account is between you and Facebook. So everybody has the opportunity to have their own ad account on Facebook, for example, the same that you would with any platform, i.e. Google too. So you would actually have your own, and that way you can control your own spend. It's your credit card. You're in full control of your own ad account. And any ads that are generated and created while using Property Funnels, you can keep, even if you leave Property Funnels in the future. So you still get the benefit of keeping those assets.
See, there's another question about the cost. I think maybe just the basic package and I know you said it's packages.
Yeah, so there's 3 packages. The first package is the CRM Baby. That's $9.97 per month. So you get the CRM with all the workflows, with all the automations that I briefly went over, as well as the Facebook Ads Launcher. So you can choose between the Ads Launcher or you can have bulk WhatsApp. We didn't get a chance to go over the bulk WhatsApp feature, but if you would like, you can choose. You get the CRM and you get either the Facebook Google Ads Launcher or bulk WhatsApp. You can always add these things.
Okay, sorry. So just clarify, the CRM is like almost like, I know a lot of people have PropCon on here. How do you compare your CRM with PropCon?
So Property Funnels is very much a marketing CRM. It's a contact-based CRM. And I think we focus heavily on automation and on the ability to connect to any ad channel, as well as any lead source. So things happen automatically once they've been built and followed up and created. So I think it's a slightly different system in terms of the automation capabilities, whether it's lead automation or whether it's process automation. For example, administrative things that you normally have to do manually, time after time, frequently asked questions, things that people ask all the time. You can have workflows and automations already in your account that take care of that, so that you're actually spending more of your time doing things that are productive and not necessarily administrative. and time consuming. So that would be generally the main difference. We don't have enough time to go through all the features,
I hear you,
but I think
of course.
a customer relationship management system is what a CRM really is.
I think from my side, like, especially if you're a new agent, you've never done, or you don't even be a new agent, if you've never done social media at all, and you've got to, obviously there's two things you want to get out there. You want to get your name out there, especially in a new area. And of course, you maybe want to list a property. So maybe just clarify the difference and, how to approach it.
So when you're a new agent in a new area, or you're a new agent in an area that you've been maybe all your life, one of the most important things you need to be doing is to actually just get your name, your brand, your face out there, not be an incognito agent. You don't want to be invisible. So getting eyes on you and your brand and getting an offer in front of people that they really want. For example, your valuation campaigns work really well because if I'm a property owner, whether I'm curious or whether I am going to sell, there's a degree of desire to actually understand what's happening in my market. How do I fare against my neighbors? And if you can help me with that, that's the first step to at least getting in front of the right client and potentially helping them, and then ultimately, hopefully, selling their property. Branding, however, is a bit different because it's more about just being visible and being accessible. But if you're a new agent, your budget is maybe slightly tighter, I would focus on a lead generation campaign just because you don't really have a need yet for a big brand campaign. So your lead generation campaigns generally fulfill both purposes. You get the lead, plus with your advertising, your brand, your name, your face, etc., you're already visible and you're already doing a slight branding exercise, even though it's not a big branding exercise, but it still dovetails quite nicely into a lead generation campaign. That's again another important point, Abel. It's not always good enough to just be visible. It's very important to be accessible. So make sure that you are accessible to your market as easy as possible, and make it easy for people to actually reach you and for you to be able to respond in a timely manner, whether it's you responding directly or whether you've got a workflow or some form of automation that at least just acknowledges a person when they acquire something from you.
I'm going to ask you a question, if you don't mind, and it might be an easy question or a difficult question. So what would you say is the best platform? You kept saying Facebook. I think we assume it is. But what would you think is the best platform to load a house, for example? Will it be Facebook, Instagram? Will it be, what would you say would be the best platform to load a property, for example, to get, leads in from buyers?
So for buyers, I'd say the best platform is actually Google and not Facebook, because what you're trying to achieve there is people that are actively searching for a property in a specific area. And Google is intent-based marketing, so advertising at least. People search for something when they have a need. People don't necessarily turn to Facebook when they want to buy a property. But combining the two together is not a bad strategy too. So just for buyers specifically, I'd say Google is your best bet. For sellers, Facebook and Google worked exceptionally well. But the reason why Facebook is very powerful for sellers specifically is because if you just look at the demographic of who is on Facebook and Instagram today, it's a slightly aging demographic, so your millennials and older. And generally, these people either have equity in their properties already, therefore they can sell, or secondly, they already have some money, so they can potentially purchase or still afford to sell their property and buy a new one. So it's a good market just because it's not too young, but at the same time, it's also very easy depending on the kind of advertising you're using. So if you're using images, if you're using video, or a combination of those two, the platform is really friendly to real estate because it's such a visual dominated industry. So I would say for sellers, Facebook, Instagram, really good. For buyers, Google would be probably your best horse, though Facebook can still give you a lot of leads. But again, you need to really have a good qualification process for buyers on Facebook. Otherwise, you end up with a lot of people that are actually just going to kick tires and waste your time.
All right. So in conclusion, we run out of time. Thank you very much. Just one thing. What would you say would be the 3 most questions that you are being asked by especially property practitioners when they contact you, if you don't mind?
Okay, so probably the biggest question is, how do I get leads? I need, for seller leads. I think that is generally the question that's repeated over and over. How much do I need to spend on advertising? And I think we answered that question. 100 Rand is a good start. And maybe the last question would be, that's actually, we don't even have 3 questions. Those are the 2 biggest questions. Everything else is sort of a mixed bag. So I'd say, how do I get leads and what does it cost? Would generally be the most. How effective is, how many people get sales? And that question is a loaded question because the workflows, the advertising, everything can be done to the best of our ability, but ultimately it still comes down to the practitioner, following up and doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. So it's not a magic bullet, it's not a silver bullet. It still requires a human to still be there and to still answer questions and be likable enough to do business with. So that is just the best, the 3 biggest questions that we generally get.
So thank you very much. I think you've covered everything, and I think we don't have any more questions. But thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for the opportunity to especially to share your platform with us. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know a few real estate the property practitioners of real estate services are actually, as you all know, using property funnels, and they're very happy. And I think that's what it's all about. So yeah, by all means, thank you very much, and go give it a go. You've got nothing to lose, and exposure is everything. So get yourself out there. So thank you very much for designing this platform, for real estate agents. I think and also it sounds very affordable as well. I think that's the big thing. What I like about your platform the most is the feedback. Like you can set up your WhatsApp or your response, rather. The response. I love your response. Somebody's telling you. Okay. I love the fact that you respond immediately on WhatsApp or email your preferences. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. David, absolute superstar. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Happy selling.